Hi guys, and welcome to Reality with Tea. It has been quite a while. I actually do have my tea. It's not that hot here today in the city. I'm sipping on my ginger probiotic tea. I have missed you guys. I haven't been posting because number one, I've been busy, but also number two, all my shows are on hiatus at the moment. So I haven't been watching 90 Day Fiance, Happily Ever After, and all that stuff because I just never got started, and I also feel like it's a lot of fabricated drama. But I do want to check in because I heard that Angela has been really disrespecting Michael, so I might, hop back in and give you guys a review on that. But what I have been watching are all these other crazy shows, like all my crime shows, and I've been watching Hoarders. I literally watched like 4 episodes of Hoarders a night. So I wanted to talk about this one with Carol that was from almost exactly a year ago. I think it was like July 2020. So thank you guys for watching. Before we get started, please like, subscribe, comment when you're done. Please make sure you hit the notification bell. Thank you guys for listening. This is gonna be quick because I watched so many, I forgot some of like the details. But this was such a juicy episode because, all right, let's see. We have Carol and Dave, right? They're both elders. They're both kind of frail and fragile, but they're living in a mansion. I believe it's in Missouri, in Ferguson. Okay. Either way, they have a mansion. Like, Dave was well off. He and his wife B for several years. They lived there. This is where B and Dave raised his kids. And from what everybody is saying is that B and Dave were very sociable. They would have a lot of parties. People would always be at the house. They have pictures. The house was immaculate. B took very good care of her home. The kids loved her. Everything was great. And then about 20 or 21 years prior to this episode, B took her life. She was found hanging in the basement. So since then, what happened was Carol was best friends. What she says was we all became very, very close. So I was best friends with B and Dave at the time. And then B took her life. Within days, I believe Carol moved into the home with David. And then 18 months after B's death, Dave and Carol got married. Child, I was like, oh, this is salacious, child. So since then, so now they've been together 21 years living in this home. And since then, Carol has hoarded the entire mansion. I think there are 3 levels in the mansion, and the father, Dave, has like an oxygen tank on him. He's really not doing well. He's sick. She pretty much left him in the mansion to go live with her son, while Dave was sleeping on the couch in the middle of all this junk. So it got to the point where his son came and said, listen, you're going to come live with me. You can't live here. So basically, at this point, the mansion is abandoned. And, there are all these code violations. The house is falling apart. Literally, the ceiling on the 2nd floor from the 3rd floor is like caving in. Like, it's a hot mess. And Carol basically left him. Like, what they're saying is that they left him there. So now we get into the nitty gritty. So the kids, we know that they don't like Carol. Basically, they were traumatized, obviously, by their mother killing herself. They said that there was no indication of depression. We know that people can be dealing with depression and hide it well, but there really was, as far as they were concerned, no indication of it. They were traumatized. The kids have not been in the basement since their mother was found down there 21 years ago. Nobody has been down there. Dave, the husband, the kids, nobody. But Carol has been down there hoarding the basement, okay? So it's full of stuff. So that's number one. The second thing the kids said was that they thought Carol took out 2 mortgages on the house, and she was somehow filtering money into her personal bank account so that she can continue to buy stuff and hoard. And Carol just says that she doesn't really know why it started. She just likes to collect stuff, and it kind of got out of hand. So when we meet Carol is combative, okay? Carol is kind of like, but she's also kind of like resigned to the fact, like, I don't have much say in this. You know what I mean? Everybody's going to be against me anyway. I don't have much say. Whatever you guys are going to do, because she just keeps saying she's combative, but also like, listen, nobody's going to listen to me anyway. Nobody likes me. The family it's the family against me. They don't want me here in the first place. I know this is all my fault. So she's taking responsibility. Like, yeah, I screwed up this house. But the family has taken, they're pretty much going to keep throwing it in my face. And that's what it is. So she knows that that Dave's kids, B's kids, don't like her. The whole situation is shady. At one point in the episode, she sits down with one of Dave's daughters, and the daughter just kind of goes off on her. Like, you had your eyes set on this house and this family for years, and then as soon as my mother dies, you move in here. You wanted the money, you wanted the house, or maybe she wanted the lifestyle. It does seem very shady. It's hard for us to see them this way because they're elders, but this is the stuff that soap operas are made of, and all the other crime shows that I watch. You know what I mean? Like, it's like this is it in living form. So my question is, so they, I just saw a few things online on Reddit and stuff, and I'm like, number one, did somebody kill B? Maybe the husband, maybe both of them together to get her out the way. Was she a side piece all along? Was she just a jealous person and found her way in when B, was found dead? Was she, I don't know, I had a lot of questions about it. Or was it just one of those things where she was genuinely, like she says, a close friend to both? And then I guess Dave was so lonely and missed B so much. Sometimes, with men, they just kind of need somebody there. They're like, okay, we need somebody to help me with the kids, or I need somebody around the house. And then they just kind of like take, she's helping me, let me just marry her type of thing. I don't know. But it seems like the kids are not with it. The kids some of them had not even been in the house for 20 something years since their parents died. From what it seems, she packed up the house. It's like the granddaughter said she never stepped in the house because you couldn't walk in the house. So the grandkids were never even able to come in and see their grandparents' home, the home that was left for them. The granddaughter, Mary, also said she was very articulate and very, she's very transparent. The grandmother, B, had left her a classic baby blue car. And she's in a picture in it, and I guess it was supposed to be the heirloom given to the granddaughter. But then B came in and sold it so that she could buy more stuff to hoard. So that was a huge way that she felt that, that the stepmother, her step grandmother, betrayed her, because she's like, that was my car and you sold it without telling anybody. So they were all able to drain this out and let Carol know how they felt about it. And Carol just took it. And Carol, this is the first time we see her get emotional. But for most of the episode, she seemed unemotional, kind of like, it is what it is. Nobody likes me. I don't care. It seems like she's a little sociopathic. Like there was something here. But there were times when she did show a little bit of emotion. And I believe that she apologized when B's daughter kind of let out how she felt about her. So basically now, Hoarders comes in, they try to work with the person, because if you don't change the behavior and the mindset, they're just going to hoard again. So, they have the organizers come in, all the people that take all the junk out and everything. And, B is kind of just grabbing stuff, and she's sitting on the porch the whole time. Dave is on the other end of the porch sitting there watching. Carol is sitting here watching, hoarding stuff around her on the porch. And she's just making a barricade. So then I'm thinking, why did this hoard start? Is it because she felt guilty for what she did to B? Moving in on her husband less than 2 years after she died? Knowing that was wrong and shady as hell? Is it because she wanted, at one point she said it would keep everybody out? Maybe because she knew his family members, all the kids hated her so much. Let me just build this fort around myself so they can't even get into the home. And then she did the same thing on the porch, because they're like, Carol, you're just collecting stuff and putting it literally around your chair on the porch. It's almost like she has to protect herself. I'm gonna keep everybody away from me. So then toward the end of the episode, the psychologist says, listen, and the psychologist was Dave. And to me, there were so many, he was okay, but sometimes I think he misses things. You know what I mean? I would have tried to get to the bottom of some stuff better than he did. I can't think of exactly what it was. I got to take my notes on this show. But I just feel, I don't know, some things were just left unresolved. But at some point, toward the end, you know, they had Carol and Dave come together. And, you know, Carol basically said, I don't think you want me in this house, so I won't come back. And Dave said, you know, I do love you. I want you in this house. I want us to live together. And the family came and they said, we do love you. We want you to live in this house. I think at this point, they're just kind of like, this is what Dad wants. We want him to be happy in his final years. Fine. We want you to live in the house, the whole thing. So she said that she would move back in. Now, at the end, they did make at least the front level livable. And they, you know, now that where they are in Hoarders, they have companies that will donate, you know, mattresses and sofas and beds and stuff like that, at least to get them started. And they do a little bit of cleaning. They have like the professional cleaners. They might put down some flooring so that they can live there. And then you see at the end that Carol ended up Dave ended up dying. He got sick and was, you know, he got ill and passed away soon after the episode. She moved out of the house again to go live with her son, and his family has had no contact with their step-grandmother since. So it was just really a sad story and situation. All around, because the kids are still in turmoil. At some point, the psychologist took Dave and his son down into the basement for the first time in 21 years because they kind of had to face that trauma so that they can move past it with losing their mom. I think to them, they still were kind of living as if like they're still upset about the death of their mom. There's still a lot of unanswered questions. It was almost like the trauma happens very recently. You would never feel that it happened over 20 something years ago. At some point, the son brought his high school buddies to the house and they looked at all the hoard and they're like, your mom would have never had it this way. Your mother was immaculate. She kept her mansion, you know, just spotless. So to have it like this. Also, then I was thinking, did Carol do this to make it the exact opposite of the way that B had it? You know what I mean? This was the way B had it. I'm gonna crap on it and mess it up because I was upset at her for some reason. I didn't like her, or maybe I just want to show everybody I'm the exact opposite of her. I'm not her. I'm not here to replace her. I'm me, my own person. I don't know. I wish we could have gotten to like the bottom of that, you know, her reasoning for that behavior, but it was just very interesting. And I'm just like, do we need to have like should this be like an ID channel murder investigation? Hoarders, because it was a lot going on here that was like unsaid, a lot of unanswered questions. And I think the children are right to think that maybe that is what she wanted. You know what I mean? Some people just want your energy, your life, your happiness, and she got it. You know, maybe not really, because she's not happy living in a hoarding situation where the kids hate her and blah blah blah, but it was something about that dynamic that I'm like, okay, this was a plan, or either she was a side piece or something was going on there, you know, that caused this tragedy to happen. Either way, let me know what you think. That is July of 2020, Carol. If you can check it out, I believe it's on Netflix and possibly Prime Video. So let me know what you think. Please leave some comments for me. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you at the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.